to break, I had asked the judge to tell us a little bit how often are these graduations and how do they work? Do they open them up to the public, or tell us a little bit about the graduation ceremony for these guys?
Yes, it's a really a lot of times a tear-jerking event. But we do one every 2 months, and we make it a celebration. We have a guest speaker, and in fact, speaking of Mayor March, she's been our guest speaker a couple of times. And, but we have 154 graduates, but we've had everything from early 20s graduates to it was a couple graduations ago. We had an 85-year-old graduate from the program. We've had everything from privates all the way up to we've had a brigadier general in the program, because it doesn't cut across whether officers enlisted or race or gender, because we do have female veterans as well that are in the program.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of female veterans end up being traumatized.
Sure, and unfortunately even with men too, but sometimes sexual military trauma too.
It's big. It's a big factor, I hear.
And even if it's not an assault type thing, a lot of times at least it's sexual harassment. So we do with our mentors, we have a separate female mentor coordinator and female mentors, because we don't want it to. At one point we were worried that we weren't getting as many females as we should in the program, because maybe they didn't feel comfortable, so we tried to do everything we could to make sure that
that's good.
Our female veterans aren't being left behind as well.
Right, that's very smart, because I do hear there's a lot of problems with that.
Those graduations are open to the public. In fact, we've got one coming up. It's July 12th, Thursday.
Really, a Thursday?
Yeah.
I'm going to put that on my calendar. Can you have your secretary send me something?
Certainly. We have those at 2 o'clock on Thursday.
Thursday's a good...
July 12th is Friday. So it must be the 11th then that we have it. It's the week after, because the 4th of July is Thursday, and it's the following Thursday.
That's good. I'm glad it's
Thank you very much.
I'm glad it's on a Thursday, because I have a busy week every week, and I try to schedule things on Thursday that I can get away from one of the medical clinics that I go to with my daughter. But I wanted to ask you about, you said the mayor had been a speaker at a couple ceremonies, but I want to go to Memorial Day, because I got to hear you speak on Memorial Day, and what I could tell when I was hearing you speak, that you weren't just a great public speaker, but that you were speaking of your heart, from your heart, and that's what moved me.
I'm certainly not a great public speaker, but
you did a good job.
It is, a passion.
Yes. Well, you had talked about losing some troops that had been killed in Afghanistan, and your heart was in your voice. And I said, when you have somebody speak publicly, you want them to be able to move people, and you did that. So how often can we catch you public speaking?
As little as possible, but I have to say, in the courtroom, I feel very comfortable, because
you're at home in the courtroom.
But public speaking is never easy for me. Frankly, I'm a shy farm boy from Nebraska, but
Memorial Day, you did an excellent job. He was the keynote speaker at the annual ceremony on Memorial Day at the Southern Veterans Cemetery, right?
Boulder City, the Veterans Cemetery. What a great place to see all those flags out.
Oh, my
they
goodness.
post on all those grave sites.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a tremendous love for veterans in Boulder City, well, and all of Nevada. I mean, we have a lot of veterans here.
It is, I think, our state is very
veteran-friendly.
Friendly. Even the mayor or the governor has a Veteran of the Month.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that was started with Governor Sandoval and continues with Governor Sislat. And those are great ceremonies too. And I'm just glad, and I think we are starting to also recognize veteran supporters of the month, so that you get both.
Yes.
So that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So you need to be recognized. So I'm sure you have a lot of Marine awards. You're not wearing your uniform. What awards do you have?
It's really just the basic ones, spending time in Korea.
So if you were wearing your uniform, you would have
I'd be pretty naked.
get out of here. Listen to this guy.
My passion is helping others, veterans, but my service was pretty standard and nothing too interesting.
Yes, Do let me know, guys. Have you written a book yet, Judge Bart? Judge Stevens, have you written a book about your life yet? I think he needs to write a book because
I don't want to put anybody to sleep.
He's a very humble, but I think we could all learn about giving and living a life of service, because that's what you've done. You've lived a life of service to your community, to your fellow veterans.
It does sound a little corny, but I guess I'm getting that age. It'd be nice to have some kind of that. I thought that you made a difference in some people's lives.
I think you have made a difference.
I think as a judge, it's easy to become jaded because in the criminal arena, because the only people you see are those that are unsuccessful and keep repeat offenders.
Yes.
The successful ones you never see because they never come back.
Isn't that the truth? Right, yeah.
But I think the nice thing about Veterans Treatment Court, I think it helps me be a better judge because I get to see the toughest of the tough situations of individuals that nobody thought they could make it through this, change their lives around.
Right, and you see results.
See the results, and I think it helps you not to become as jaded and think.
Absolutely, you are making a difference.
But people outside of the veterans as well, a lot of them they change their lives around. They get on track, and sometimes they've just made one mistake, or they'll get on with their lives. So.
Wow, I think that's fantastic what you do.
Well, we've got, like I say, a great team. I can't say enough about it. Even our prosecutor, he's a Marine, former Marine.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't say former Marine, because once a Marine, always a Marine.
Well, because you learn, I talk to these ROTC young people, and they'll tell me, respect this, that, and the other, and those things that you learn as a Marine, yes, they carry throughout the rest of your life.
It is a fairly small group of us Marines. I think we're the only ones that go so crazy over our birthday every year. We go around and tell each other happy birthday every year. It's kind of funny.
I think that's great, though. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to put that graduation day on my calendar. I want to become a little bit more familiar with what you guys do. Generally, if I have somebody on the show that does such great things like you do, I want to promote you. So I don't forget you once you leave, and I'll get back. Like I had the Veterans Transition Resource Center on the show.
Sure.
And they have a show at noon. You've probably been on their show.
I've been on there a few times.
And it was a great show. They were talking about PTSI today. Well, they said, this first time I heard it called PTSI instead of PTSD, because they were saying they had a doctor. And I guess when they say disorder, then people think of a mental, and by calling it post-traumatic stress injury, then people might think of it different. And I really am concerned about PTSI because, like I say, my dad suffered it for years. He, at 75, he almost died on that drug, Haldol, psychotropic drug, but he lived to be 93. Bless.
Wow.
Bless. And I did fly out to New Mexico numerous times, and it was people like you that believed, in.
I think there's, obviously it's a big issue. A lot of times the alcohol and drug issues are masking some of those issues.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how I think a variety of approaches is the best way to do it. The individual is talking about the combat medic. One of his big assistants or something that helped him become successful is we got him a service dog for not only his injury but for the PTSD. And this dog we're sitting here, if I'm getting nervous, he'd just get in between us, not in an aggressive manner. Just in the sweetest dog, it helps with blood pressure and everything else.
Oh, absolutely.
But you know how a lot of times veterans, they're on edge. They got to go check the perimeter of their house and make sure that it's secure. With having a dog, he knows the dog will alert. He
Yeah.
can sleep and not have to worry about getting up in the middle of the night and having. I mean, he still has certainly.
But it makes it, even if you don't have PTSD, having a dog, they are companions. I pray for dogs too. I tell God, you gave us, we're going to break, so we'll talk about service dogs for a minute when we come back.